Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome to the family. My name is Vinci and welcome. I already filmed the video before, so I am really on fire. I'm staying up late to film these videos, so make sure that you're subscribing down below. I'm going to talk about something really heavy, so I am going to give trigger warning later, because for the intro I'm just gonna say, casual stuff, blah blah blah. So let's get right into it. This video is going to be about the World Cup and everything going on with it. In this video I'm going to be looking a lot on my screen because I had to type a lot of things and I cannot memorize everything. So if you're going to be watching this video, I cannot make eye contact. You can watch it like a podcast style and that will be perfect. So let's get right into it. World Cup has officially begun. Actually, the World Cup began on 11th of June. The opening ceremony of the World Cup, I was super excited to watch it. And then I was like, is that it? I mean, you remember when you talk about World Cup opening ceremony, it's just like boom, 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 party, party. A lot of people on the field, doing all the crazy stuff. This year, I mean, Shakira was there and Burna Boy was also there, and it was exciting. I was like, okay, yeah, but what more? It turns out that was it. I was like, okay. And then I made a comment and I said, oh, this feels a little bit like FIFA is on the budget. I wrote that on my Twitter. Actually, we're on a budget, because when you look at the budgets from the previous years, the amounts has significantly reduced. So I wasn't crazy for thinking that the World Cup opening ceremony was really I don't want to use the word low budget because that sounds pretentious. It was really minimalist. I don't know how accurate this is, but they say 2006 World Cup in Germany. Sorry if the sound, it's really hot in here and I had to open the window, so you're probably gonna hear the rain in the background. Germany, 2006, the budget was 5.2 billion. 2010, South Africa, it was 7.2 billion. In Brazil, 2014, it was 15 billion, all is in dollars. 2018, in Russia, it was 14 billion. 2022, it was 220 billion. And in 2026, it was 8 billion, almost the same as what was spent in South Africa 16 years ago. So that explains why the opening ceremony was so minimalist. This was just a side note. I am getting distracted. So the World Cup has officially begun and it started on 11th of June. A lot of things have happened since then. For example, we saw Carousel, how do you pronounce this? Carousel participating for the first time in the World Cup and immediately getting 6 goals scored against them by Germany. You guys couldn't give them just two goals so that they can use it to cool their hearts more. 6 goals from Carousel participating for the first time in the World Cup and immediately drinking 6 goals from Germany to Cape Verde's goalkeeper getting the man of the match after an unprecedented performance which skyrocketed his Instagram from a following of 50k to 14 million followers and counting. Bravo. And to the fantastic match that was played between Italy and Nigeria. Talking about countries that participated in the World Cup, Ghana is currently at the World Cup, and yesterday we were able to play and beat Panama by a goal in the 95th minute thanks to this guy. I should be happy about this. I mean, I am, right? Like, of course, we won our first match in the World Cup in 2026. But there has been something on my mind that I need to let off my chest. I've been doing a little bit of ranting on Twitter, just a teeny tiny drop. Someone stole my tweet, but I'm gonna leave it for now. I think that a lot of Ghanaians are not talking about this as much as I wish they will, right? And because football means so much to us, we tend to turn a blind eye on certain things. And this topic is about Thomas Partey. Is that how to pronounce his name? Partey. Partey or Partey. I don't know which one you prefer. Should I say Partey or Partey? This video is going to contain some unpopular opinions, and which is going to make some of you uncomfortable. But just sit down, relax, and let's have an adult conversation. We cannot have this conversation without recognizing first and foremost the amazing football career of Thomas Partey, because he's genuinely one of Ghana's most great players. He began his career at Atletico Madrid in 2013 and went on a loan in Mallorca and Almeria. Almeria is such a beautiful city. And returned to Atletico Madrid again in 2015, where they were able to win the UEFA Europa League and the UEFA Super Cup in 2018, before appearing in the 2016 UEFA Champions League final. So this guy has gone places, like one of these big teams. So he's like a world-class player. In 2020, he joined Arsenal in a transfer worth 45 million and becoming one of the most expensive Ghanaian players. He played in 167 games and over 5 seasons at Arsenal before winning the Community Shield in 2023. And this information, I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but it's from Wikipedia. As a researcher, Wikipedia is not something you should be referencing, but okay, here we go. It's YouTube, it's fine. I'm having an internal dialogue. And for the national team, he represented Ghana at 3 African Cups in the 2022 FIFA World Cup. He was also named in the CAF Team of the Year in 2018 and won Ghana's Player of the Year in 2018 and 2019. So this is clear that Thomas Partey is one of the most decorated Ghanaian footballers of his generation. He also was a captain of the team, the Black Stars, which is Ghana's official football team, which is currently playing at the World Cup. But he was selected for the World Cup squad while facing 8 criminal charges in the United Kingdom. And these 8 criminal charges involve 7 counts of rape, 1 sexual charge, and it involved 4 women. Let us sink in. So where did it all begin? According to the Guardian's article in July 2025, it says that the former Arsenal football player Thomas Partey has been charged with 5 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault, according to the Crown Prosecution Service, which is CPS from the UK. The allegations relate to 3 women who reported incidents between 2021 and 2022. Partey has been charged with 2 counts of 1 woman and 3 counts of a second woman and 1 count of sexual of a 3rd woman. The CPS does not charge people lightly. So reviewing this files, they took like 3 years and then concluded that yeah, they want to go to trial. First of all, these are all allegations, okay? I don't have lawyer money. Don't come and sue me. Don't waste your time. On July 4th, 2025, these charges were announced, right? So there was 3 women and 5 counts of 1 sexual. But then it didn't stop there, because in February of 2026, BBC reported that he had been charged with 2 additional counts of against a new alleged victim, bringing the total charges to 7 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual. And this is relating to allegations from 4 women between 2020 to 2022. So 4 women across 2 years, and he was selected to represent Ghana on a world stage. Anyways, Partey denied all the allegations. I feel like this is like basic protocol. If someone is charged with a crime, obviously their lawyer is going to plead not guilty. So his lawyer, which is Jenny Wilshire, stated that he's fully cooperated with the police and the CPS throughout the 3-year investigation. So they were doing this investigation for 3 years. They had substantial cause to arrest him and charge him with something. He says he's pleaded not guilty and he's entitled to a fair trial, which is like a basic protocol, right? Although he had pleaded not guilty, I'm just asking, like, the decision for the Ghana Football Association to select him, choosing him regardless of what he's going through, his criminal charges right now. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to come up with a point that he pleaded not guilty, but this is just standard protocol. When someone is involved in something, they always plead not guilty unless there is like a plea deal or something, and then they'll say, okay, usually the lawyers plead not guilty all the time. So it's such a weak point to come and tell us on the internet that, oh, but he said he's not guilty. Okay, yeah, okay, sure, we believe him. The court is going to do their work, but come on, it's just protocol to, I'm not a lawyer, but from what I've seen, most lawyers just plead not guilty and then they go through all these court proceedings. So the GFA couldn't find anybody in all these local teams to give them like an opportunity of a lifetime. Do you know how big the World Cup is? We have football teams such as, let me see, I found some of them, the names of some of these football teams. So far we have like 21 different local teams. They're telling me you couldn't find somebody from Asante Kotoko, Hearts of Oak, Berkum Chelsea, Mediasi LSC, Ashanti Gold, New Bediase United, Liberty Professional, Adriana Stars, International. You get my point. Berkum Arsenal, Accra Lions FC, Tama Youth. You couldn't find one player to replace him. Oh my god. So it's so embarrassing, really. Not to us. I'm not feeling embarrassed. You guys should feel embarrassed. Imagine giving an opportunity to somebody from one of these teams. Like, you change their lives. First of all, they're going to play the match like their life depends on it, because they know that it's a big stage. It's not like you are trying to exploit them, okay? But giving someone from, let's say, Berkum Chelsea, like the best player from the National League, the opportunity to play in place of this guy on World Cup. First, he's going to play because it's, like I said, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. And it's also really life-changing, because look at the Cabo Verdean goalkeeper. His life is completely changed forever. Why couldn't you give someone else the opportunity to play? And every time we see Black Stars is full of nepo babies. You know who I'm talking about. You're telling me you couldn't find local players to replace this guy. You insisted. Let me move on. The GFA selected him anyways, and the first match was supposed to be played, but apparently they said he got American visa because the World Cup is being played in 3 countries: Mexico, America, and Canada. And you know how crazy it is to get an American visa. I've never applied for one, but that's what I've heard. Trying to apply for the Canadian visa, and he was denied. So at first I was like, denied by Canada? Interesting. But then it was also ringing in my head vaguely that I feel like there had been some scandal, but I wasn't sure what had happened. Canada denied him a visa to enter their country. In response to the visa denial, guess what? As if it's not embarrassing enough that they selected him to join the squad for the World Cup, especially for somebody who is going through an active criminal investigation. Our Ghanaian foreign minister, I mean, he's been doing a fantastic job as his position as a foreign minister with all these things going on in South Africa, evacuation. He's really proactive. But I feel like this move by him, I really side-eyed him for that. What did he do? He gave a press conference and said that what the Canadians are doing is highly and extremely unfair because the guy is on trial, blah 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 blah. So they were going to fight to make sure that this guy plays and petition, blah blah blah, because they understand that in legal principles you have to presume the assumption of innocence. So before you can assume that someone is guilty, let's go with that. The wise person said that the person who is found not guilty probably has a really good lawyer. Imagine, actually I have an example. Imagine that you have a friend who 4 different people came to tell you that I gave him money to invest and he spent the money. 4 different people have told you, oh, this person spent my money. He didn't get arrested though. Let's just assume that 4 different people have told you that this guy spent my money. This guy spent some investment money that I gave him. Would you give him money to invest for you if the guy tells you, oh no, I didn't? 4 different people. Let's move on. The foreign minister said they were going to file an appeal about the visa refusal because it's not fair. They want to make sure. This is the day before the match against Panama, by the way. So Canada came out to talk. They were like, we didn't deny him visa over his charges, 7 charges of 1 count of brought against him in Britain. That was not why we denied him, because they cannot deny someone his visa because of conviction. They denied it because of an active proceedings involving serious charges. While they were doing this whole appeal processes, court documents revealed that during his initial visa application, he did not disclose that he was facing criminal charges in the UK, and this was by the Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Department. He applied for a visa to go to Canada to play football. He decided not to tell the Canadians that he was facing criminal charges, because he was asked whether he had ever been charged with a criminal offense, and he indicated no. So usually when you're applying for a visa, for example in the UK, I tried applying for a UK visa I think a year or two ago. They'll ask you, have you ever been involved in a terrorist organization? Have you ever been charged with this crime? In the past I was like, why are you asking me all these crazy questions? But they do that because when they find out that you've lied, they can deny you your visa. And this is what he did. It's not like he lied, he just decided to omit it. And omission is also a form of lying. You are doing that, but you've forgotten that these countries communicate with each other, especially for World Cup. If you're a really known person, they're gonna find out. A man who is facing 7 counts of and 1 count of sexual submitted a visa application and did not disclose those charges, and now you see the government. Imagine fighting all this battle. The Canadians realized that this person is a risk. People cannot see. You are putting the country on the line for him. After they did the appeal, they were like, no, we cannot give him visa. Immigration service from Canada said, Canada has been consistent that hosting major events does not change Canada's immigration law, and every person seeking to come to Canada is assessed individually based on facts available and the law that applies. I think you can use protocol to get him into the country. Do you see how they don't care about women? With all these conversations, one thing I've not heard not a single person mentioned is the 4 women who have been involved in this case. 4 women came out, not publicly, went to the police separately. 4 different women separately within a span of 2 years with serious allegations, enough for the CPS to do a 3-year investigation and determined that there is a possibility of a conviction, and then filed criminal charges. Imagine coming forward against like wealthy, famous man. It's not that easy, because you know that in this era, when something allegedly happens and it spreads across different platforms, a lot of people will criticize them, they don't believe them, abuse online. Imagine what it takes for the woman to come out to say that this thing happened to me or this thing happened to me. And not even one woman, 4 different women in different countries. When some serious allegations have been leveled against these professional footballers and clubs, maybe celebrities and stuff like that, the teams would suspend the player while the investigation is going on. Why couldn't the Ghana Football Association do something like that and say, okay, maybe this time you're not going to play, we're going to let someone else play while these proceedings are pending? Yeah, they could have done that, left him out of the squad, given the opportunity to someone from a local club. 4 women, 4. I'm not saying that he's guilty. Don't come and chew me in the comments. It's for the court to determine. Well, I'm not going to internalize this, but I feel like they have embarrassed themselves globally. Everybody was watching you guys. Just embarrass yourself. Fighting for somebody. If you could be fighting for women's rights like that, all this passion that you are using to support the person because of football, if you could use that passion to support women's rights, wouldn't we go ahead in this country? Some people made an argument, oh, this guy is such a good player, we cannot leave him out of the squad. But didn't we win the match against Panama? I want to say something very controversial, but okay. The time that we were supposed to win the World Cup was when Sule Muntari, Stephen Appiah, those times, that was when we would have won the World Cup. I'm not saying that we cannot win the World Cup. I'm just saying you guys are doing way too much. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. So we were able to win the match despite the decision. So why did you have to choose him in the first place? This conversation is really frustrating. What kind of message are you sending to the women? So 4 different women, right? They have families, and imagine their families sitting down watching you guys dirty yourselves like this, and they made allegations enough for the CPS to conduct a 3-year investigation to say, you know what, we're going to pursue a charge. And the fact that nobody is talking about it, I mean, I've seen a few comments here and there, but most people are just like, oh, he pleaded not guilty. So why don't you just let him be and then deal with the cases before, you know, you bring him back, if that's what you guys really want? Because if the guy is actively fighting a charge, why should he be part of the squad? I say part of the charge. Why should he be better squad. Okay, it's not a rhyme. I feel like I have an unpopular opinion because I've not been blinded by football. I mean, I love football. I'm always watching all these matches, but really, is it that deep that you guys will completely turn a blind eye on all these factors surrounding his selection? Anyways, that's the end of my rant. If you have any comments, write it down in the comment section. Honestly, I don't know what you're gonna say, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you stayed up till the end. Like this video. If you didn't like it too, I don't know, it's fine. It is what it is, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.